I've been playing in bars and stuff since I was 9. I mean, they were smoking cigarettes, blowing it in my face.
Another fucking podcast. All the behind the scenes bullshit you didn't know you needed to know. All right, everybody, welcome to another fucking podcast. I'm Maddie. I'm here with Lennon La Ricci today, a local artist we've met through Ocean 98 Live Licks. I've seen you out in town, and you've got a new album, so welcome.
Thanks for having me, Maddie. It's quite the honor to be so early in the podcast and be on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me. I know you have a new album that just came out, so I figured it was a good time to talk about all of the ins and outs and all the behind the scenes of all of that. So your album is called Where's Lennon? It just dropped. Tell us about it, the inspiration, themes, motifs. What's it about?
Yeah, so it all started about elementary school, and we did a news segment every week that would be broadcasted like through the kids and the schoolrooms. And I had a pretty consistent segment every week. It was called Where's Lennon? And
Yeah.
I'd be like, like climbing like up the Eiffel Tower or something, or on like Mount Everest. And
Mhm.
all the students were to like guess where I was. And if they did that, they like, I don't know, get a piece of candy or something.
Right.
And it kind of really branched out now to like actually finding my own identity as an artist. And that always stuck with me, even like, 20 years later, that Where's Lennon? Because, it's consistent every day in life.
Yeah, and
That's
who
one
you
thing.
change into as you become
Yeah.
a person. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the fuck am I? I
Yeah.
don't know. That's the way I see it. But so you've been working on this album obviously for a long time because it goes back to elementary school
It does.
thoughts and ideas. What was that process like for you from songwriting to recording to releasing this whole thing? What was that like?
I mean, it's definitely really hard. Like, it's really hard thinking about, you write so many songs, and you're like, sometimes like, oh, this is like shitty. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder like what people will think of this. And it took a lot of time to really connect those songs as one. And, I write something, I think, oh, wow, this is amazing. And I come back, I'm like, oh, this sounds like complete ass. And then
Yeah.
I get back to it, and I finally found about 9 songs that go together well. Spent a lot of time in the studio, kind of making little rough copies, and then it all came together.
Yeah. With that and finding the things that like, okay, this sounds like shit and then this sounds good. I find like any art that I do, even with the podcast, like once I put it out, I was like, "Oh my God, like people are actually going to be able to see this." Like that's terrifying. Like, "Oh my God, what if I'm just an idiot?" When did you reach that point where you were like, "Okay, I've tinkered with certain songs or the sound enough that you were like, I'm comfortable or confident enough to like share this with my friends or family or whoever." When was
I
that?
think that 100%, confidence level is never really there,
Oh yeah.
but it got close enough. Like, I've been playing in bars and stuff since I was 9. I mean, they were smoking cigarettes, blowing it in my face, in Baltimore. So it came to a point where I really stopped caring completely about what other people think. And like, if you're gonna like my creation, I really hope you do. And it's still hard. It's still hard to be like, this is what I have, but it comes to a point where if I keep nitpicking everything,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, damn, like I'm stuck. So I think now is the time that I got everything together and it's ready for the world to hear.
Awesome. Is that something too, like with, it being daunting and putting your shit out there for the world since you've been doing it for so long, especially for people our age, like does it make it easier for you? Like, oh shit, I've been doing this since I was 9. Like, I don't like, yes, you still care about people's perception, but
Right.
there's also like I don't give a fuck. Is that there?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Cool.
I play my solo performances like quite recently, it's like a laid back Italian restaurant. I'm in, sitting in the corner playing. And, you got people coming in there. They don't expect music, holding their ears and shit, like, fuck off.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I got it. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
With that too, and this whole album and the process and not caring about people's opinions and doing what you love, when
Uh,
was the moment you realized like the album was complete?
that's a great question. Because I'll always go back and fear that, something could be done. But then I
Yeah.
really related it back to my story, like, growing up and everything. It's all rough. Like, it's all raw. So coming to terms with that, I think that's a great reflection on the whole project, not how it
Hmm.
just stems together, but it's rough. It's like an example of, growing up, and especially in today's world, it's not the easiest thing to do
Yeah,
for people our age.
it's a strange place. It's not
Yeah.
what it once was.
Uh-huh.
And now I want to move on to a few would you rather questions based on the album and what I know about you and all those things. Would you rather ever play live or only ever play recording in the studio?
I'm gonna have to say live.
Yeah.
That really showcases like my creativity, and
Hmm.
it's. I've always been keen to the fact that never once has like one of my solos, like when I'm improvising, it's never been the same once because I'm always, consistently thinking of different things, what to play.
Yeah.
It comes to my brain, to the keys, to my hands.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's got to be something too about like having an audience, a live audience, as opposed to like being in a studio.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of you're gonna do this way, and then you can kind of more be free.
Yeah, for sure.
Love being free.
Would you rather only ever play your music as it was written or in that improv like jam band style?
I think I'm definitely going to say improv,
Okay.
because even though that I wrote it at one point, I wrote it for, to be clean, to be studio ready. But when I'm out,
Right.
like I'll play my songs out, they never really sound the same. Sometimes, I'll forget my words, make new ones up. And yeah.
I
So
think that I agree with you on that. I hear like I'll ask that question to different people and I hear
yeah.
so many different answers and a lot of people like their music as it's written, but I will say the best concerts or shows you see out live is when it is different than like the recording.
Right. And I do that with covers too. Like I take a lot of pride in that. Like people will come up and say, I really like your version of the song. I mean, like
Hmm.
people have already wrote that song and released it, when you're doing covers, like,
Right.
make it your own. No one wants to hear Elton John again or they go buy tickets to his concert.
Yeah, I agree. And that's another thing. We're sidebarring right now, but with covers, that's also one of my favorites is sometimes you don't even realize it's a cover. You're just like,
Right.
"Oh shit, that was Elton John. That's cool."
Yeah.
So I agree.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather only play songs in minor keys or major keys forever?
Well, probably as much as I want to say major, I'm gonna have to say minor because, just world be gloomy,
Yeah.
like, and there's much more, um, say more suspense, more
Yeah.
feeling you get from that low, ominous tone.
There's more drama. It's fun.
There, yeah, we love
Would
drama.
yeah, for sure. Would you rather only play Beatles music forever or Billy Joel music forever?
I love both, obviously. Big
Yeah.
Billy Joel inspiration, but I'm gonna have to say Beatles, not just because of my name, just because there's so many like different songs that, once, like we said, you can make it your own. But I feel
Hmm.
like I could take me a couple days to play every Beatles song.
Oh yeah, it's
400.
monstrous
Yeah.
catalog. Yeah, for sure. And now I have a few rapid fire. Just don't even think about it. Just first thing that comes to
Okay.
mind.
Uh,
One word to describe your new album.
Raw.
I dig it. A favorite
Yeah.
part of your job.
Making people happy.
Oh, I like that. Least favorite part of your job.
Booking gigs.
Yeah, the back and forth and emails is the worst.
And yeah, it's actually terrible.
Yeah, I get it. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
One artist you'd love to team up with.
Say John Mayer.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
More bluesy feel, kind
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah,
I dig
right.
it. Play one song on the keys for the rest of your life. What is it?
I'm not gonna really say a song, but any
Okay.
like really slow blues,
Okay.
you can really be yourself, play along.
Yeah. Yeah, just
TV
vibe
thing.
with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I dig it. And then I've got one final fun one for you since we talked about it a little bit earlier of like being in a bar since you were 9. And
Right.
I'm sure there's like the goofy fun stories and then there's the really bad stories and then there's just all sorts of bullshit. What is
Yeah.
like one experience or moment from being that young playing out that you'll never forget?
Okay. I'm gonna share one, and then I'm gonna share kind of more like a relatable, like I'll never forget. I was about 20 years old, like 5 years ago, playing at Beach Barrels, 133rd Street. Great venue.
Hmm.
My eyes are closed. I got my headphones in, like my ear monitors. I'm playing along, just jamming. And I play two keyboards. I got a stack. I don't feel the bottom one anymore.
Oh,
and it fell all the way off the stand onto the ground. And you know me, instead of, oh, let's take a second and pick this up, got down on the ground and started playing it.
awesome. That's kind of rock star though. That's
It
fucking
was, yeah,
cool.
it's kind of rock.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your relatable?
My relatable one is just for, people out there, being that 16 years actually a couple days ago is how long I've been playing out in the bars. And, I've practiced a lot. I've dedicated my whole life to music and, like I said, making people happy, trying to connect with people. It is actually crazy the things that people will say. And that's about anything, but, having my dad alongside me a majority of that time, people will come up to him and say the craziest of claims, and they won't come up to me. Like, and
Yeah.
I've heard so many different things about myself, especially, around Ocean City and stuff. I'm like, where are you getting that? And it like, at first, like, it's like, yeah, like, that's cool. Like, whatever. I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, whatever.
Second, I'm like, have you actually lost your fucking mind? Like, I'm like, you weren't there when I'm sitting here practicing, 5:30 in the morning before school, getting back, throw my homework aside,
Yeah,
playing
doing
again.
this.
It's just crazy what people think. And,
I
that's our audience, our people.
Yeah, well, I think it's such a thing too with like social media where people are so comfortable just saying whatever they want that
Yeah.
now it's like coming into the real world. Because I get the same thing, and like my mom will go out with me places too, and they're like, "Oh, Maddie," and then it's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But on
Great,
that
great to
note,
learn this about ourselves,
yeah, yeah, growing up in wild fucking
Yeah.
times. But with that, thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here. Where's Lennon? Is it out now?
April 10th
Okay, April
comes out.
10th.
All
Awesome.
platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, 9 songs. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. And you're Lennon La Ricci online, LennonLaRicci.com,
That's
on
right.
Instagram, Facebook, all the places. Thank you so much for being here. Another
Thank you,
fucking
Maddie.
podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
You
I'll
too.
see you later.
Bye bye.